Hi boys and girls, it's Wednesday and we are ready to get started with our math video for today. You are going to notice that this looks pretty similar to yesterday. In fact, when we are learning subtraction, the best thing that you can do to get better is practice.
Yep.
And to just keep trying more problems. You're going to make mistakes every once in a while, but this is going to be a great way for you to get used to subtraction and to become even stronger and better mathematicians. So let's take a look. Our first problem is 25 minus 4. Everything is nice and lined up like we've seen already this week. We've got our tens house, we've got our ones house, we have our addex, and all we need to do is find our answer. So I'm looking at my bottom number in the ones house. That is always where I begin. And I think to myself, bigger, bottom, borrow. Well, I'm in luck because 4 is actually not bigger, it's smaller. So I don't even have to borrow. I do not need to knock next door to Mr. Tens. I can just do straight subtraction. I'm going to start by 5 minus 4. Well, those are number neighbors, so I know that my answer is 1. And I'm going to move over into the tens house. 2 minus nothing or a 0 is just the same number. It is 2. And so my answer for number 1 is 21. That wasn't so bad. I saved the harder one for you, Mrs. Grant.
Oh, that was nice of you.
You're welcome.
All right, as always, we're going to look at 41 minus 8 and start in the ones column and ask ourselves, bigger bottom borrow. Tongue twister.
It's meant to be a tongue twister.
It is, right? So our goal is to have a bigger number on top. We want the big number on top. If the big number's on the bottom, instead, we have to borrow. And I'm noticing that 8 is on the bottom and 1 is on the top. 8 is way bigger than 1, so I'm going to have to go next door and borrow from our Mr. Tens. And he says, yes, I can have one group of his tens, which means that I'm going to cross out the group of 4. And remember, we just drop it down one number. We're borrowing one group, so 4 minus 1 is 3. We turn the 4 into a 3, and we take that group of 10 and we add it to our top number because our goal is to make the top number bigger, so you always add the group of 10 to your top number so that it can become bigger than the bottom number. So once I smush those numbers together, 1 plus 10, I get 11. I'm gonna write that up here. I like to cross that out so I don't get myself all mixed up. And now we're ready to subtract. So my subtraction problem in the ones column is everything that's not crossed out. I start with 11 and I take away 8. And I like to count up when I subtract because that's just easier. So 8, 9, 10, 11. That leaves me with 3. And then I'm going to subtract my tens column, everything in my tens column, and all I have is a 3. So 3 minus nothing remains a 3. So I did need to borrow in the second problem. Okay, the whole page is this, over and over and over, practicing until you get better and better and better. Okay, so here it tells you to write a subtraction problem that needs regrouping. So basically, choose any number that you want to put in the tens column. Let's say I did 5, okay? And the tricky part here, in order to make it need regrouping, the bigger number needs to be on the bottom. So it really doesn't matter what two numbers you put here as long as your bottom number is bigger than your top number.
Yeah, so choose a small number to put at the top, maybe a 1 or a 2. And then choose a larger number to put down at the bottom, something bigger than 2. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
You could copy Mrs. Grant's problem, or if you want to get creative and come up with your own, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
And then you can try to solve that problem as well.
Yeah.
The back side, same thing. Lots of problems that look like this for the practice, and a couple problems at the bottom that I know you can do. So use this page to get stronger and better at subtraction before we kick it up a little notch tomorrow.